Now that King of the Hammers is over, we are back in the shop with the Cherokee once again. So this has unfortunately been taken off daily driver duty for a couple weeks now because one, it is making some really loud rattling noises. And two, the performance has went downhill quite a bunch. But luckily, it's a pretty common problem or issue on these Jeep Cherokees, and it's not too hard of a fix, and that is a cracked exhaust manifold. And we're also gonna do a few other things in this video too, but why does a cracked exhaust manifold happen on these? Usually it just happens right here where the collectors meet up. The welds break, that's because the motor mounts have flex, or maybe it's just super old and it cracked. But that explains the noise. We have exhaust gases going out in the engine bay. That's gonna create a little bit of a noise and vibration on the metal pipes. But why does it cause poor performance? Well, I'm hoping that it is this, because theoretically, if air is getting sucked into the exhaust here with a Venturi, our O2 sensor is gonna read as there's too much oxygen and it needs more fuel. So the computer's getting tricked, thinking that the engine's running lean, trying to correct it by dumping fuel, when in reality, it's just an exhaust crack introducing air. Long story short, we're gonna work on the Cherokee in this video. Nothing new. There's already a lot of these videos on the interwebs, but you never know what comes up along the way. Let's get the Jeep up in the air and check it out. So let's take a look at what we are working with. We're pretty much gonna do all the work from above. I just wanna let you guys know that JB Weld will not actually fix this issue. It will continue to run and sound horrible. You can faintly see the crack on the side here, and inside the collector it is cracked as well. So we'll take an up close look. But while we are under here, we're gonna go ahead and pop off these two bolts that connect the manifold to our downpipe. I have a feeling this is not the factory exhaust manifold because I doubt I would have been able to get this off a 1997 Jeep Cherokee. Now the fun part about this project is that we have to remove everything over here to get access to our exhaust manifold. So the intake manifold, throttle body, fuel rail, all the connections, everything physically has to come out so we can get access to the exhaust manifold. So we're gonna set the camera down, start pulling off everything one by one. With everything off our intake manifold, we go ahead and loosen the 3 power steering bolts that mount it to the intake. You don't have to fully take it off, just make sure they're not threaded in. Then we're gonna go ahead and start on the bottom mystery bolts. It's always fun trying to find them. Should be 5 bolts on top. I wanna say 4 on the bottom. Hopefully I will find that washer later. Remind me to find that washer. Ben, when you're editing this video, if you didn't find the washer, you messed up. That didn't sound good. Definitely broke something there. Crap. Maybe not. Maybe not. That was the dowel pins, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Ooh, I smoked something there. Wow. And now there's just 2 more exhaust bolts on the side we gotta pull off. That was actually pretty untheatrical. Came out pretty nice. And now all we have left to do is pretty much put everything back together, plus we're swapping over to a new intake manifold, which is gonna require a few things within itself. But at this point, you know, clean the side of the block good, throw your new gasket on, and we are just going to pretty much redo everything in the opposite order. Now, if you're curious what header this is just another cheap eBay special header made in China. And this is something that's a pretty difficult job and it's time consuming. So a lot of people would recommend going with like a nice American made exhaust manifold, such as the Banks Sidewinder or some of the other ones, but I've still heard of those cracking. And for what we plan on doing with this Jeep, it's a budget build. I think this will be more than enough just to get us by for the next few years, hopefully. And hopefully I didn't jinx us, but if this one cracks, we will reevaluate it and go from there. But I think this was, you know, 90 bucks for this, maybe a little cheaper. And I also got the downpipe that goes with it. But I think we're gonna have to save that for another time. because it looks like our exhaust is fully welded by somebody at one point. There's no slip couplers or detachable points other than this one. So building out of it, we might just have to build an entire new exhaust. Now, since we already have the intake manifold off, this is a great time to do an upgrade to our intake manifold. If your Jeep is older than a 99, so like 98 and below, if you swap over to a 99 and up intake manifold, you can actually gain a little bit of power and some better fuel economy. It's just a better designed intake manifold, has more of a horseshoe shape than these square ports, allows a little bit better flow. Some people say they feel a difference, some people they see a difference in fuel economy, but it's an easy upgrade and we're only gonna have to flop around a few of these guys and maybe extend wiring, but we'll do that once it's in the Jeep. Got this on eBay. It was looking pretty much just like this, cleaned it down, spray painted it, put some glitter blast in there, topped it off with a clear coat. This is gonna look pretty sweet under the hood. And while we get this on, I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint the fuel rail, make that looking good. Little touches really make these engine bays look good. I went ahead and got the intake manifold all torqued down. Start on the bottom two, 1, 2, then the top two, and then the bottom other two, and then you kind of work yourself around. It's like 23, 24 foot-pounds. Nothing crazy, but the girls got quiet. Do a shot, do a shot. Oh, y'all are sweeping. So we're hanging out in the shop tonight, and I'm probably gonna keep working away on this. Hopefully we'll be able to take it for a test drive tomorrow. Oh, Emma made 2. Another one. Go from the half-court line.
Half-court line?
Yeah.
I mean...
Right there. I guess we'll call that the half-court line.
Here?
Yeah. Oh. Sink it. 2 for good luck, Allie. Right there, half court. Oh.
There you go. Okay, one more.
One more for good luck. Oh man, we're having issues. Get it? Boom, slam dunk, always wins. So this is not an overly complex project. Really anything on these old 4.0s and Cherokees. It's all great DIY projects. Really not too much here that's that complicated. What's up, Em? Yeah, it's running. You want to come see what I put in?
Sure.
Come check it. What do you think is new in here?
The engine. No. That?
Yeah.
That?
Yep, that's new, and the exhaust, but you can't see it. So look, where's the old ones?
Let's see. Let's see over here.
Okay. Who can tell me which one is the exhaust manifold? One's intake and one is exhaust. And that's exhaust.
I'm exhausted.
Yep. Now which one's the throttle body?
This one.
No.
That one.
Yep. Which one's the intake manifold?
This one. This one.
That one. Good job. So this one's broken. I guess I never showed them the crack. So these cracks can look small and they're hard to find sometimes, but they can also be huge. So here,
Wait.
I'm gonna have to point it out to you.
Oh,
right
I see
here.
it.
See this crack,
I
Emma?
see it.
You're looking too close.
Yeah, I see
So
it.
right there, see where it's cracked right beside the weld?
Yeah.
So even though it's small,
Oh, I think that's middle.
the exhaust gases get this so hot that the metal kind of expands open and it gets worse. But it's time to call it a night. I guess we're gonna shoot some hoops and get back to this in the morning. Now there's just a few things that we have to do to fit this newer intake manifold. One, we have to lengthen our air intake temp sensor wiring so we can route it over here. The old one was towards the rear right here. So we lengthen that wire and then go to the parts store and grab some vacuum hoses because we're gonna have to reroute a few things. So I went ahead and put one on here, going somewhere, probably HVAC controls, brake boosters now on the bottom. This guy's, I don't know, probably over there for, who knows what all these are for, but you just have to reroute a few of them, cap one of the unused fittings here. And as you can tell, we have a new throttle body here. This is the Amazon brand knockoff 90 millimeter throttle body, and it bores all the way through. It's a true 90. Looks like a knockoff of the older BBK or B&M throttle bodies. It used to be like 300 something bucks. I'm excited to see how this does. It's much bigger. It should allow a little more airflow, but the spring is definitely stiffer. So that might be a nice feel, might be bad. We will see. Cassie's brother, my brother-in-law, installed one of these on his Cherokee when he was here a few months ago, and he said he liked it. Noticed a little bit of oomph off the line, but With that being said, we are gonna wrap this up and go hit the road. Hopefully the exhaust manifold is what was causing these issues and it's not like an actual engine issue, which would suck. All right, well, no fuel leaks, engine sounds good so far. This new exhaust manifold is gonna kind of cook off any oils and it is gonna be stinky. So it's time to go hit the road in this thing and get it out of the shop because you can already see. But it is important that we check our fuel rails and injectors, making sure we didn't pinch an O-ring or break it and have fuel spraying everywhere. But this job might be a success. Unfortunately, the new exhaust manifold did not fix all of the issues. Yes, it was a contributing factor. The Jeep sounds so much better now. It's not rattling around, but took it for the drive and something just still doesn't feel right. You know, it bogs, the RPMs kind of hunt a little bit, and it just does not feel like it should. So it's probably the O2 sensor, but another very common issue on these Jeeps is the throttle position sensor, the TPS. What that does is, you know, it measures the actual pedal position, and it does a lot of things. It tells the computer kind of the load expectation, controls the shift points, and it's one of those things where if it's going bad, it can make it feel like there's a misfire or bogging at certain throttle positions. And a lot of them from the stores just completely suck and you can get another bad one. So I'm gonna show you real quick how to test your throttle position sensor. So we'll need a multimeter that can read DC volts and either a paper clip or little electrical connectors, something small that we can stick inside the pin to read voltage. So first step is to turn the key to the run position so we can check this out. Oh, battery. All right, we're gonna save that. So this first wire should be our 5 volts. The second one is what should go through the variable resistor, AKA the TPS, send back to the ECU, and the last one should be ground. So I'm just gonna stick this in there. Switch our multimeter, put one lead on ground, and let's see here. This is definitely kind of a two-hand job. There we go, so we got 1 volt right now. Hopefully you can see the multimeter. I'll zoom in. And we're gonna slowly open our throttle and watch our voltage and make sure it, you know, smoothly increases and there's no dead spots in the sensor. So we're just gonna slowly open it up to full throttle. 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, and it should go all the way up to right around 4 or 5, so 2.4, 2.5, 6, 7, 8. So far, this looks like a fantastic sensor. All the way open, we're reading 4, and we'll slowly drop it down. That is a good sensor. It means our TPS is not the issue. That is a very quick and easy way to test your TPS, as well as a lot of other sensors. That means, due to the lean condition, got the code for lean, means it's probably the O2 sensor. So I'm gonna run out, grab an O2 sensor, we're gonna hop under the Jeep, swap it out, and once again, take it for another test run. Hopefully this time, there's a bad glare right there. And hopefully this time actually fixes the issue. Now, unfortunately, we're gonna have to run the Walker. These Jeeps love the NTK sensors. That wouldn't be here for a few days. So in the meantime, this 40 bucks for a Walker O2 sensor, it should do the trick. Hopefully, at least to tell us if it's bad or not, and then I'll probably order an NTK on Amazon, or just see how long this one lasts. So it's time to crawl under the Jeep. I already have the old one off. You just get a O2 sensor socket, spray it down with a bunch of PB blaster, and get that thing out of there. We're gonna throw the new one in. All right, and then usually there's already a little bit of anti-seize on there, so we're good to go. And it's time for test drive number 2. Alrighty. Well, it looks like we have to head straight to the gas station, but so far the Jeep already feels better. Just want to show you guys this road right here. It's like a off-road trail just leaving my house. Let's see, we got some nice washouts. Look at that, that's a big one. Oh. So yeah, I'm trying to convince the city to come over and do some stuff about this, but they don't wanna. Welcome to Oklahoma. Like, dude, look how big that is. Ugh. Oh yeah, Jeep, that was the ticket right there. O2 sensor. Oh man, this is how I prepare for King of the Hammers. Just drive up this road twice a day, and we're ready. So, before I call this job 100% good to go, see how it does once we open it up a little bit. This thing has been drinking gas. So it's wild, you know, the computer thinks, and it says it's running lean, but it was clearly running rich. The tailpipe has black soot all over it. This thing was drinking gas, and it wasn't running right. So, you know, when the O2 sensor goes bad, if it's not reading correctly, it's gonna tell the computer the wrong thing. Now there are other good ways to check O2 sensors. You can, let's see. I mean, it's not the most powerful thing ever, but she actually feels like it's pulling strong, steady. And we're gonna have to wait for the computer to kind of readjust all of our fueling because it's been way off for quite a while. But it's fixed because it was not, like yesterday, when I took it for the drive, anytime you were under a load, it wasn't missing, but you know, you could visibly see the RPMs rising and falling and feel like it was bogging down, and that's just because it was not running efficiently. And let's just show you some of this power. Ready? Take off! Oh yeah, baby! All right, so she's running good. Let's slow her down a little bit. At first, I was convinced that it was the exhaust manifold causing, you know, the lean condition, but it turns out that it was a mixture of both. So the manifold was cracked. The new intake manifold's gonna help us a little bit, but kind of just something that I did unrelated to our issue, but since we're in there is a good spot to upgrade. But the O2 sensor more than likely has been dead, and it was just giving the ECU an incorrect reading. I think it's safe to say that the Cherokee can go back to daily driving duty, and in the meantime, we can start thinking and planning out some other projects for this.